Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mitsubishi Lancer CK2. Now, this one has a 4G18 engine. Unfortunately, on the logbook, it says 4G15. So I guess this is an old car, of course. There are a lot of things that have been done to it. And so probably they even changed the engine. So the guy who sold it to me, now here's the story. Now, this guy, I sold to him my Toyota 100. Now, sometimes back in 2023, I had a Toyota 100, which of course I wanted it to be a project car and modify it to my specifications. Unfortunately, due to very hard economic times, I decided to sell it off. Now, this guy, after selling it to this guy, he paid like 3/4 of the amount. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to raise the other amount. Now, after kusumbuana for a while, one day I saw this guy post this car, this Mitsubishi Lancer, and of course I decided to ask him, you're posting this car and yet you haven't paid my money. So we came to an agreement, because wanaume lazima waheshimiane, and of course lazima wakame into conclusion. Now lazima waelewane. Now we agreed, and of course he gave me this car instead of me instead of him paying the rest, the balance that had remained when I sold him the Toyota 100. Of course, that was not my plan, but a win is a win. Instead of, kudai mutu for a whole year, I decided to take this car. Now here we are. This is a Mitsubishi Lancer. It's not what I wanted. I wanted a Toyota, but now we'll just work with this Mitsubishi Lancer. Now, after calling my mechanic, he told me that, of course, these cars, sometimes it depends with how you maintain them. He told me that the engine that comes with that car is okay. Now, one thing, remember that this car was being sold as is where is. It had no gearbox. It only had gearbox and some parts of the engine. Now, the engine is there, of course, but now the engine had been dismantled. I think they were planning to maybe overhaul the engine, of which they were not able. Now, I was sold this car with the gearbox. The gearbox, of course, is still intact. One thing I'm not sure whether the gearbox is working, because sikuweza kugurumisha hii gari. So I don't know. Now the engine, parts of it iko kwa boot. Most parts of the engine. So I'll just call a mechanic to come and advise if we should overhaul this engine or maybe buy a slim engine, because the other parts are there. Now, unfortunately, the slim engine is almost 80 to 90k. And am I really willing to spend that amount on this car? That is one thing I'm not sure. Now, overhauling the engine might cost around, let's say 30k. Now, that is the highest side I'm looking at, 30k. But now, calling people who have used this car, they told me that overhauling the engine might prove to be problematic. Maybe after some time, it might not serve me for a long time. Now, and it will start bringing issues. Now, I have two options. Do I buy a new slim engine, or do I overhaul the previous engine that, of course, has already been dismantled? It's already in the iko pale kwa boot. Now, what do I do? Remember that this is a project car, and my plan is to spend the least amount of money as least amount of money as possible. Now, will that be possible? That is one thing I am yet to decide. I might decide to go with probably overhauling the engine, because this car I am planning to sell it maybe later. Now, so what I did, I went with this guy. He's a mechanic, to probably check the condition of the car. Of course, there was no engine, but I wanted him to confirm if every part of the engine that probably I will need later is there. And of course, he did that perfectly. He advised me probably to get a slim engine, and that is probably something I might consider. Now, there we were able to get someone to carry it on a flatbed. I paid 7,000 for that. So that one was on my side because we had already agreed with the guy, and I didn't want to leave the car there because mtu anaweza change mind. So I decided to put it on a flatbed and take it to my mtaa. Now here we are, niko mtaani there. It is arriving, it is being offloaded, and of course the journey has just started. Yeah. Oh. Now this car has a 4G18 engine. Previously it had a 4G15, and I think they changed it. Now I'm hoping that the gearbox is working. There is also the computer box is there. I'm hoping that it will also work. Now this one is, I'm just hoping. Now this is a risk I'm taking, and of course when I negotiated the amount with the guy, I knew I put this into considerations, knowing well enough that maybe after getting an engine I might find out that there are things that probably are not working. I'm hoping that the gearbox is working, and that is even after consulting the mechanic, probably he told me that it thinks that the gearbox is okay. So let's wait and see. It's a journey that we have started, and of course if you have parts that or if you have this engine probably unaweza nipea. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Until next time, see you then.